Yeah, thanks for reminding. Yashita, who started first? Kanika.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Um, Mataji, beginning, like before I joined Bhakti Shastri, I knew that, okay, I am not the doer. But what does that really mean? Like, how to apply it? Like, after I read the purports and everything, for me, it was a little bit of an awakening. I know it might sound elementary, so I apologize. But for me, at least, it was a big deal to see that everybody is operating in the three modes of material nature. So, to be more compassionate that otherwise it's very easy to go, oh, so and so did this, so and so did that, I feel like that because we work in challenging turbulent times. So knowing just it helped me increase my compassion towards how I see the world, that everybody is operating in the three modes of material nature. At the end of the day, they are influenced.
And this is not elementary, trust me.
Thank
Um,
you, that's sweet of
because
you.
even
Very
though
kind.
we are spirit souls, we don't necessarily operate on that platform, and that's why we have all these concoctions that we, and it's not easy to think like that all the time. And also, uh, yeah, so this is not definitely elementary. So
Thank you, very kind, Mataji, thank you so much.
yeah, Palak Mataji.
Um, Hare Krishna Mataji. My takeaway from all the six chapters was, I think, that Bhakti Yoga culminates into Jnana Yoga and Dhyan Yoga, and I think we have one more. No, actually, this. So, and I would say this was very experiential. I think something that experience was that you it's easy to practice like we have learned, so that is something that I've felt in my daily life as well, that it's very difficult to do the others versus it's easy to do this one, uh, and it's even enjoyable to do this one versus the others. So I think this is something that I've observed, and I think it makes it easy for the us to practice other principles. I think 2.14, I think that's the verse where Krishna says that a person should be stable in happiness and distress and cold and summers. So I think all of that is very easily practicable in Bhakti Yoga. So
Very.
that's what I could feel.
Mm. Bhakti Yoga is very simple for simple people and complex for complicated people. So it's very, if you think it as bhakti is just whatever we are doing, keeping Krishna in the center of our lives, offering everything that we do to him, and that's about it, right? And there are different gradations in it, but it's that simple. Like always think of Krishna, never forget Krishna. So, but whereas the other processes of jnana or dhyana, um, they may be complex. You need to be qualified to do certain things. For bhakti, there is no pre-qualification. So that's nice.
Right.
Shalini Mataji.
Pranam Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. For me, the crux, what stood out, not the crux, the two verses that actually always stay in my mind, and I try to follow them, and that made huge impact is first of all the Bhoktaram. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwara Suridam Sarvabhutanam. Um,
Yatmamam Shantim Rachati.
Yes, Jnatva Mam Shantim Rachati. So that one, I keep reminding myself that, Krishna is the proprietor and the sole enjoyer. There is another verse that was not memorization verse, but I heard it somewhere. I think I heard it in one of the lectures. Mai Karmani 330, Mai Karmani Sarvani, um, um, Sannyasadhatmika Chetasa, Nirashi Nirmamo, Yuddhasva,
Vigata,
Vigat.
Vigata Jvara.
So that verse has really affected me because this is the crux I feel for me that, Krishna is saying, I am the enjoyer from Bhoktaram. I am the beneficiary of everything. I'm the proprietor. So you just dedicate all your karmas to me, renounce all the karmas to me, and uh, actually the results basically. And then you're not the proprietor, give up all desires and just get up and fight. So that is a very big reminder to me on a day-to-day basis that just keep doing your action with full surrender, knowing he's the proprietor and he's the enjoyer, and with a spirit of renunciation of the results. So it's easier said than done, but that's what has made the most impact on my thinking on a daily basis.
Yes. That verse 529 is the peace formula. Prabhupada says that is a peace formula. This is the biggest peace formula, even though United Nations can come together, but unless and until we come to that platform that Krishna is the enjoyer of all the planetary systems, there can never be any peace because we are fighting for mine and yours all the time otherwise. And the other one that you said, which is Krishna is urging Arjuna to get up and fight, right? So we should just get up and do our duties, leaving all the lethargy. Nice. Thanks for sharing, Shani. Debbie?
Hare Krishna Mataji. So one thing that sticks to my mind now, it's 4.34, the verse about the spiritual master. Because before I've read Bhagavad Gita, but it's only through Bhakti Shastri, everything's actually making better sense to me now. That you're able to remember the knowledges, you're able to remember how you can apply this to your life. I've been doing distribution for over a year, and sometimes I feel like, how did I distribute books without this knowledge? So everything is making sense. So I would say the mercy of the teachers, as well as even the spiritual master I'm aspiring from, just that everything's making sense. So it says in that verse, it says to approach a spiritual master, inquire submissively, render service, and they can impart knowledge. So that's kind of what I'm telling myself now. It's only because of their mercy I'm able to comprehend. Otherwise, I probably would have went years reading the book and not understood the philosophy. I'm understanding a gist of it. So that's something that I'm very, very thankful for. So
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, many people say, why would I need between me and Krishna, a guru? I've heard people telling that to me. I don't need anyone. I can directly go to the temple and approach Krishna. Yeah, you can see the deity, but Krishna is not accessible like that. So there is the medium through which Krishna is accessible. And that's, if you're realizing that fact, that's very wonderful. And you can only keep going further and further on that platform. Thanks for sharing that with me.
thank you.
Ishita, Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. I think everyone has said really good points. But apart from this, I think for me, I really resonate with Shalini Mataji's when she said that 5.29. I too really that is my personal thing that keeps going on in my head. That Krishna is the supreme friend, our well-wisher, and we have to kind of consider him, like accept him as that. And even when situations come in life and we are feeling lonely or something, then Krishna is there with us always. And like when he's explaining the qualities of soul and all that, chapter 2, then that also has a practical application. For example, I mean, it's very, very, very hard to apply in life, but when someone passes away, we do see that they are soul and they continue to exist. It's not that they are like they are eternal. Yeah, I think. And my personal favorite is like 2.7, which is where like the whole story turns around and Arjuna surrenders. So I really feel that very personal to me, and that is kind of my prayer, that realizing that, oh, I'm afflicted by the miserly weakness of the heart and all that. Like we are actually afflicted by so many conditions, but then accepting Krishna as the guru is like will make things better.
Yeah, that verse can personally speak to you also, right? Like it
Yeah.
not necessarily Arjuna is saying that to, I mean, Arjuna definitely saying to Krishna, but we can also say that and ask Krishna to reveal whatever is that is required in a given situation. Yeah, thanks for that, Rishit Mataji. Should I pick the next people or you'll go? Because I want to hear from every one of you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry Mataji, I joined little late. What will Mataji?
The question was, what did you learn from the first 6 chapters? Anything that stood out for you, whatever you could share from your heart.
All right, Mataji. Mataji, Hare Krishna. My name is Toshi. So Mataji, this first unit was we have touched all the parts like Gyan Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, Karma Sannyas Yoga, everything. So in that, particularly, I like we have learned the technical part also, the science of this body and soul and nature, and we have also touched the Krishna has also revealed the solution for the or formula for the heading this life. So particularly I like 2.7 also, where Arjun is completely surrendering and being disciple of Lord Krishna and asking to instruct. And then I like this Prakriti Kriyamani 3.27, where I personally apply that how when I'm getting angry, when I'm sad, is it any three modes of nature who are making me all this? I need to be above all of this, and feeling in that way. And then I like that Tadvidhi Pranipatena, which gives a solution. Like Krishna is saying, okay, these all are the things you need to make changes in yourself. But how you can go further in this without Guru? How with the Guru also, how to behave, how to act. We need to inquire submissively. We need to surrender the service. First, we render the service. Then we should. With the Guru will bestow the mercy and we will get that knowledge. He will impart on us. So yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much. You covered a lot of points. Yeah, that's very nice. Srinivas Prabhu. Srinivas Ananda Prabhu.
The first 6 chapters, overall, it's more like I mean this time. I mean, I joined many sessions, but I was not able to complete. A lot of times I drop out, and finally I think this time with the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, your blessings, I will be able to complete. So this time it's a different experience what I had, especially like how to Prabhupada purports. I actually never noticed that much, or even I noticed I was not go so deeper, where sometimes the meaning and purport is totally different. Like, so actually Prabhupada is giving the most applicable thing for this yuga, I should say, and how we can quickly able to understand the deeper meanings. And he's also laying the path for how quickly we can progress in spiritual life in each of his purports. And by one, though I was reading like this 5.22 was very revelation for me, like while I was trying to memorize slokas, and
5.22, which one, Prabhu? Is the verse?
Yehi samsparsha jaboga dukha. So that was I felt like if this is remembered, probably it is much easier for us to do bhakti, because somehow we have been told happiness we have been educated, or we have been like Prabhupada says, brainwashing, right? So we have been brainwashed that happiness is something else, but where it says the source of happiness, which we think is actually the source of misery, and how we have to use one of the resources given to us, the intelligence, and which we have to the spiritual intelligence, and how we have to be very careful where in whatever we are engaging in our day-to-day life, and how actually it helps a lot for our spiritual progression, much more faster, and it will not put us in too much agony and sufferings actually. So this was a beautiful journey last 3 months, and especially this batch of devotees, all are I mean, the questions they ask and all is amazing actually. Everybody is very enthusiastic. So all all slokas are very good, like 2.14 also. But I feel 5.22 is, I mean, for me personally, I feel like this is what I should always remember, which actually helps me, because the time is, we are in 2025, like years are changing. So yes, Mataji. So
Thank you so much. You covered a lot. The essence is the purports of Prabhupada, because Krishna, even in the second, third chapters, fifth chapter, Krishna talks about the Karma Yoga. Prabhupada completes the circle by adding bhakti to everything. Like whatever we do, we add bhakti, and Prabhupada actually gives the essence of the entire Krishna consciousness movement in each and every purport. He actually completes it. Even if you read one purport, you are fully onboarded into the process of Krishna consciousness. So that's the mercy that we have on the top of what has Krishna given. So Prabhupada's purports that make the difference for us. Thank you, Prabhu. Narayan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. What really stood out to me was, sorry, no problem here. Okay. What really stood out to me was that how intense the reading is, and to understand this, there was so much for you to comprehend. And while just reading it on your own, you're not able to understand so much, right? But when you have someone like so many experienced persons here, you learn so much from different perspectives. And one of the things that I really stood out was that you see how our senses just could be so detrimental towards our development, our spiritual development, and what it could do to us in order to keep us down, and what is the way forward. And the importance of having a guru, 434, the importance of having the guru so that you could learn submissively and learn the real truth. Because many of us, we just read the books, you do understand it, and you just think, well, okay, I've read it and I have all this knowledge, but you don't really understand it. And this is the importance of it. This is just my short take on it.
Prabhu, yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Sonal Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. The time I started this Bhakti Shastri course, I started like making a more conscious effort to apply Krishna's teachings in my personal life, like offering my actions to the lotus feet of Krishna, not getting agitated about results of my actions, and trying to be stable, though I'm just starting like a preschooler, but trying to be stable in different situations in my day-to-day life. And the verse that really was my favorite was Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, where Krishna tells the purpose of his coming to this material platform. And I also realized that with the association of the devotees and the teachers here, I'm engaging more sincerely now in my devotional service, and I am hearing while I'm chanting and being conscious of Krishna's presence. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. That's wonderful. Who is not?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I would like to speak.
Who is this? Oh,
Mataji, I'm Deepali, but my
Deepali.
screen name is Diya, so that is me, Mataji.
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
For me, I was doing this Bhakti Shastri for the second time, and my greatest fear last time was verse memorization. And obviously, there is so much to understand. And even though I, came to like until the last week, I felt that it is just my humble attempt to say that I have read through these chapters, but Srila Prabhupada's books, they are so amazing. The purports are so amazing. Like each, I would say each paragraph, even if you pick up one sentence and I would reflect on it for a week, I would be like, oh, my week has been such beautiful, like fabulous. Overall, obviously, my life has been amazingly changed over the last 6 months. Sometimes I would not understand what is happening, and that state of surrender, like I would just not know what to do. Should I listen to my you know inner heart? I don't know whether that is the false ego, or what should I do? And like, I feel that I have literally actually been able to reach out and pray to Krishna to help him to guide. And having said that, I had written down some things to constantly remind me to get through regular or non-regular, I would say, situations. One of them was, I'm not this body, I'm this soul. Like, I would just constantly remind myself of it. And having said that, like, there have been sad times also and great times also. But yeah, my favorite was kind of keeps changing, but right now I think if I have to choose one, I would choose 5.22, which is Yehi Samsparshaja Bhoga, where basically, like, all pleasures will have a beginning and end, so as well. So there is no point of taking a lot of delight in them. And the sources, like, of misery are also basically due to the contact with all these material senses. If I just kind of make myself aloof from these, then it's that neutral balanced state of I am doing what I'm doing. There's not necessarily misery, there's not necessarily any pleasure. And the soul has been there for ever since, and it will always be there. And whatever is happening, physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, material pain, is all only to my body, which will probably just move on, and my soul will stay forever. So that's, like, I think. And obviously along with that, the only way to find um, to find a good meaningful life is by surrendering to a spiritual master. Because I have experienced this, really. Like, when your spiritual master tells you one word, like for something which I thought is, oh, this is impossible, Guru Maharaj, but even if he just says, like, Tathastu, it just works out. So it's like literally, Krishna, Lord Krishna in disguise, in the form of the spiritual master for me. So Mataji, that's my realization and reflection, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank
Hare.
you. Thank you, Dipali. Wonderful. We can quickly go. We are at 10:29. We have lots to cover, but I want to hear from each one of you. If you can keep it little short also, that will be fine as well.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Can I go ahead, Mataji?
Yeah, please, Mataji. Priyambada Mataji. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Basically, like, quickly I'll go. That I realized that Bhagavad Gita is a kind of jewel box, and we have finished the middle one. Top one will be doing later, and middle one, which is a jewel and shining like a shining diamond, and we'll be getting like lot from there. Understanding that we are the part and parcel of Krishna, and we are the soul, not this body. So we have to think that we are always there with Krishna, and Krishna is our seed-giving father, and Bhoktaram Sagriyak Tapasam, and like, he's uh, uh, Sarvakaran Karanam. So uh, like, we as human being should always surrender through our uh, daily activities and all that, through karma, that nishkarma karma yoga. And going to that, one should, like, not stay, like, stay the detachment and the, like, practice. One can go higher up in the yoga ladder with the sakam karma yoga and then nishkam, and then going up the top one, which is bhakti yoga. And that is how, like, with the what you say, controlling the mind and the lust and the greed and all that, uh, making ourselves detached from what is not required, attached to Krishna consciousness, and going from there, Mataji. Positively, like, topmost yoga in the yoga ladder, and the Krishna at the last say that yogi namapi sarvesham sarva lokamaheshwaram sridya sarvataram gyatva mam shantim rest. No, this is the one other one. Yogi namapi sarvesham sarvaloka maheshwaram.
Madhyatena antaratma.
Yeah, yes, yeah. So
That's
the
what we're
Krishna
trying to
is
say.
saying just surrender and that's it. Like, he'll take care of it. So I realized that so many things are coming in the life. There are up and downs and fluctuations are there. But once you are in association ABCD, then you are all set. That is what I understand. And now I'm looking forward for the middle, the shining part of the whole Bhagavad Gita, the middle Bhakti Yoga. So looking forward to that, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Your openness of heart will give you as much as you can take. So, but it's like that, right? If you're open, then you will receive it more. So open your hearts. The messages are there. I may be a small instrument just trying to convey it to the extent I have understood. But if you open your hearts, then you will get much more than what I can even say. Next is we have a few people who went and said Hema Mataji, Uma Mataji, Vigyan Prabhu, Mridula Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Uma, Uttam Bhakti Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna.
So I had similar realizations like other devotees have shared, but personally, when I was reading Srila Prabhupada's purports and how he was stating a lot of situations that happen in practical life and how bhakti can help you with all of that, it kind of gave me like a much needed reassurance to continue, spiritual life with enthusiasm. So, so in our city, we don't have a temple. We only meet once a week for Bhakti Vriksha and all. So, because we meet more materialistic people at work than we meet devotees. So, after a few months of not being to a temple or not attending a temple program, for me personally, I kind of feel like my enthusiasm is going down. But these last few months, when I was reading Bhagavad Gita and attending the sessions, I felt that reading the purports has really gave me that boost in doing my Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Mataji. Where are you from?
I'm from Charlotte, Mataji.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. Next, anybody wants to go? 3, 4 devotees are there. Would you want to say something or what do you like? We are also at 34 now. We have only 1 hour to cover. Why don't we do that at the end, 4 of you? Vigyan Prabhu, Mridula Mataji, Ramina Mataji, Hema Mataji. At the end of the session, I would
Sure,
like
Mataji.
from all of you. Okay? Maybe based on that class as well as from the previous learnings that you have had. Okay. Let's go. I will share a slide which will talk about our schedule for this session. Okay. Hope you all can see the chapters, the classes that we have from today till March 22nd. Some dates that you should remember. We will complete the sessions Krishna willing by March 23rd. Then revision will happen on the 30th. Your closed book exam will be on April 5th. Then open book assessments will be given by 15th and 16th weekend. And they are due by March 8th and 9th. Shloka test should be ideally March 22nd. However, there is an offering to you if you would like to take it. You can split the 14 verses. You have 14 verses to memorize in this section. Out of the 14, you can split it at least half of it or maybe around half verses by 15, 16, and the rest can happen on March 22nd. This is only to help you if you prefer that, because it will reduce the load and you'll do the learning ahead of time rather than keep it at the end. Because you have to have the exams throughout the 3 months. It's not like you can pace them out. This is something I wanted to share before we started. Okay. Then we will be going through all the verses, 14 verses that we have. Why don't we just do that today as a warm-up also, part of it. Let me open up the slide again and share. So what we will do is we will recite all the memorization verses at the beginning every single day, every single time we meet, so that it will help you with the pronunciation and also help you with the memorization. So many times you'll recite in the class along with someone. Today I will recite. Next one, each one of you can volunteer to read it at the beginning. All of you just start on time so you can recite the verses. And that will help you for the revision as well. Devi Mataji, you have anything to say?
Hey, Krishna Mataji, I just have for the shloka test, 15 and 16, we have class, so it would be after class. Would it be in the 1 to 3 time frame, how we had it the last time?
Later on, in the day, after the class, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, I will share again. So we'll just recite the verses only. I will recite today. Next, tomorrow onwards, volunteers are needed to recite at the beginning so everyone can practice. We have the annotations also here, so it helps us to practice the way they are. Okay. 7.5 onwards. Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim viddhi me param जीवभूतां महाबाहो येदं धार्यते जगत् दैवी हि एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः आब्रह्मभुवनाल्लोकाः पुनरावर्तिनो अर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रम् इदमुत्तमं प्रत्यक्षावगमं धार्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् मया ततम् इदं सर्वं जगत् अव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेष्वस्थितः सततं कीर्तयन्त्यो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते यान्ति देवाव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्या यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहर्तम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यद्यश्नासि यज्जुहोसि तदासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि तेषु चाप्यहम् अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावः समन्विताः तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते. Hare Krishna. So as you have seen, there are 14 verses and they end at chapter 10. That means we will be covering chapter 10 sometime in February. We'll be finishing it off in the middle of February. So that way, you can give your sloka recitation test, half of it, by that time. Anyway, all the verses are done by that time, by mid of February, towards the end as well. So that was the idea, is to give you some leverage so you can complete this ahead of time. So we'll start with 7th chapter, Knowledge of the Absolute. Again, I'm going to share a slide that talks about the summary of this chapter.
Mataji, can you post the time slide that you showed before in the group?
Will do.
Thank you.
Yeah. So chapter 7, breakdown. So there are five sections within this chapter. In the first 3 verses, Krishna speaks about hearing. Just hear, knowing Krishna by hearing. And then there are About material and spiritual energies, Krishna speaks from 4 to 12. Surrendering unto the Lord, he explains about that process from 13 to 19 verses. Devata worship and impersonalism, 20 to 25. And a delusion from Maya to devotion to Krishna, 26 to 30. These are the high-level section headings. Going right into the first section, 1 to 3, which is knowing about Krishna by hearing from Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Shakta Manaha Partha Yogam Munjan Madashayaha Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatagnyashasi Tat Shunu. So this particular verse, Krishna speaks about the hearing process. Tat Shunu. Shunu means hearing. By hearing, how? By putting the mind attached to Krishna. My Ashakta. Ashakta means, Asakti is attachment. By being attached, Manaha, with the mind, Partha, O Partha, Yoga Munjan, Yoga means by linking process. Linking process, Yunjan Madashrayaha, by taking my shelter, Asamshayam Samagram, without any doubt, fully you'll know about me, Joseph. So just here. So let's recap from the last chapter, 6th chapter, where Krishna ended with that verse 647. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmanaha shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mataha. So what is Krishna saying in that verse? That of all the yogis, he has explained about, you all have summarized in all your, whenever you spoke, some of you, that Krishna spoke about karma yoga, he spoke about nishkama karma yoga, then he spoke about jnana, then dhyana, which includes ashtanga. Now, after saying so many yogas, yoga is what is yoga? Yoga is a process of linking to the God. So Prabhupada explains like that. You can link to the God by the process of action, which is where your nishkama karma comes. By working, you can link to the God. But how? By detaching from the results. That is nishkama karma. And by process of repeatedly doing that, you come to the stage of jnana. Jnana is that knowledge where you have understood enough that you've come to that stage, but that is the process where you have in full knowledge of doing things. That's the knowledge you get. So if you continuously doing your duties in a nishkama way without attaching to the results, you get to the point of jnana, which gets you to detachment. Along with the knowledge, you get that detachment. And then another flavor, this is where you offer that result to Krishna as well, the jnana process. And then Krishna explains about the dhyana process. We can take whatever we can from that processes to implement in our lives. Dhyana process. Like we have gone, it's a very technical chapter, chapter 6, you would have gone through how a yogi sits, yoga ruda, your arurukshu stage, yoga ruda stage, neophyte stage, and the advanced stage. So all that is explained. But at the end, that yogi who does all these things, who has come to the point of culmination of dhyana yoga, he is the one who is best, who is madgatena antaratman, is always constantly thinking about Krishna. And that is a supreme yogi. So that's what Krishna concludes in 6 chapters, right? Yoginam api sarvesham. He is the highest yogi who always thinks about me within his mind. I consider him the topmost yogi. Now, how to get to that point of highest yoga process? And that's where he talks about these 7 chapters within which, like Priyamada Mataji was saying, that if you take Bhagavad Gita as a box, jewel box, the top portion is a jnana section, the bottom portion is a action, karma section, which is what you finish. And the middle jewel that is there is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 chapters. And Krishna mostly speaks about the internal, his internal mood, or it is the jewel that is inlaid between these 2 sections. You want to cover something, you want to save something, you cover it up with something. So he has covered this bhakti section with the jnana and karma sections interlaid in them. However, it is available for all of us. Bhagavad Gita is an open secret. It is nothing to hide in it. But many people miss the point. That's because they are not getting in the right disciplic succession. So the hearing process, what Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to do, has to be done within the bona fide sampradaya. That's very essential. We cannot hear it from anyone. We need to hear it from the bona fide representative who is representative Krishna within the sampradaya and coming with the right understanding. We have seen how in the 4th chapter Krishna explains the lineage of Bhagavad Gita also, like how it was broken because of the time, because with the time everything gets broken, right? It goes. Krishna reinstates by giving the knowledge over and over, and this time is giving to Arjuna. So this is very important that we hear this process in the disciplic succession, which is a bona fide process. And Krishna is telling that by hearing about him, with the mind attached to him, one can develop full knowledge and without any doubt. So he's giving us a lot of confidence that by hearing about Krishna, we can develop everything that we are supposed to know. But can we know everything about Krishna? Why or why not?
It's unlimited. So, and our senses are so small, we can't comprehend.
But Krishna is saying you can understand everything about me. Is that he's saying wrong?
I think what we need to know. So everything that we need to know to understand he's a Supreme Lord, that's what we'll understand. But even then, we fully can never understand him because he's the creator, he's God, and we're just the living entities, part and parcels of him.
Very true. Yes, that's nice, Devi. So how much can we know? Krishna himself doesn't know about himself fully. That's why he comes in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience that rasa, that taste. What is that Srimati Radharani experiencing? I want to understand, experience that too. So he doesn't obviously know about himself fully. That's why he's coming in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience that. So what can we know about Krishna fully, even though he's saying that? Krishna is very humble. Now he is showing his qualities, great qualities. What are the 6 opulences that Krishna has? Yes, Madhu.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Say?
Yeah. Knowledge, beauty, um, opulence, wealth, knowledge, beauty, opulence, and all the fame, and one more.
Strength.
Strength. Yes,
And
knowledge, strength. Yes.
So Krishna has all these in highest quality, highest quantities. So humility is also one of it. Like he has displayed his humility here. You can know about me fully. But can we know? We cannot, because Krishna doesn't know about himself. What can we know? But like Devi Mataji said, that we can know about Krishna to the extent that we have faith in it, in the process of hearing, and to the extent that we have understood. That much we can know about Krishna. And how we can know? By hearing process. Hearing that process, that will give us the all that is required in bhakti process. If you see that first verse Prabhupada explains in the purport, we will not probably go through each and every line in the purport, but we can go through this. These are the verses that are explained in the first canto, 2nd chapter. Most of you or some of you might be knowing. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, we recite this. Shinmatam swakata Krishna mat punya shravana kirtana hridayam tastohya bhadrani vidunoti suratsatam. And on and on. So the first process here is about Shanmatam. By hearing about Krishna, you can, all the Hridayanta Granthani, all the Granthas within the heart can be removed. So hearing is that process. So by hearing, you can understand Krishna as he is. Also, in the 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj explains about the 9 processes of devotional service. Can anybody say what they are?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Dasyam,
Archanam.
Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam,
Bandhanam. Archanam, Bandhanam. Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So There are 9 processes of devotional service in Canto 7 that are explained by Prahlad Maharaj. It starts with Shravanam. Shravanam is that first process. And there are personalities who exemplify each of these processes. And that might be also, if it is relevant, we can cover. It is definitely not that relevant in this section, but we can say like how each and every great personality from our scriptures has exemplified that particular process. So Shravanam is exemplified by who? Parikshit Maharaj, because he heard it for the 7 days with rapture attention. So he exemplified that process. Kirtanam is Sukadeva Goswami, because he explained for 7 continuous days. Parikshit was hearing, Sukadeva Goswami was talking about Srimad Bhagavatam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Smaranam is exemplified by Prahlad Maharaj. In all the circumstances, in all the situations of his life, he has remembered Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. Pada Sevanam is exemplified by Lakshmi Devi. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam. Archanam is worship, is Prithu Maharaj. Vandanam is exemplified by Akrura. He recited prayers when he reached Vrindavan to take Krishna Balram to Mathura. So at that time, he glorified Krishna by his prayers, heartfelt prayers. So he is the embodiment of Vandanam. Sakyam, everyone must know this answer.
Arjuna?
Sakyam is exemplified by who?
Arjuna.
Arjuna? And
Arjuna. Yes, Arjuna. Dasyam is obviously by Hanuman.
Hanuman.
Atma Nivedanam is by Bali Maharaj. So these are the personalities who exemplified these 9 processes of devotional service, out of which Shravanam stands out. It's the first and the foremost. And if you also know, this is the first faculty that a child is given or any living entity is given. This is the first faculty to get as well as the last faculty to leave us. Right? So person even in the unconscious state can hear, it is said, because they can still hear. So hearing is a very important thing that we should. So and what makes us Krishna conscious devotees is the quality of hearing is one, and what we hear. So if you fill our hearts and ears with some mundane things, then that's what we will get. It will be mixed up. But if you fill our consciousness with the Krishna conscious, Krishna Katha, then we will hear about Krishna to the extent that we have heard him, about him, and purified ourselves, and to the extent that we are able to receive it. So the process is there, it's available for everyone. The only difference is the receptivity, how our receptivity is, right? If you go into the sunshine with an umbrella, or if you carry an umbrella in the rainfall, obviously you won't get wet, right? So however, the rain is falling everywhere, but you are carrying the umbrella to protect yourself. So similarly, if the process is available, mercy is available, it all depends upon our receptivity, how we receive this. Okay. So let's go to the next verse, unless anybody has any questions.
Mataji, which was the last one, 9th one?
Atma Nivedanam.
Atma Nivedanam. And who exemplifies this?
That is Bali Maharaj, because he gave everything that he had, just in the 3 paces that Lord Vishnu asks him. Okay.
Mataji, is it possible to have all 9 devotional processes? Because I thought Amrish Maharaj demonstrated all 9, and that's why Durasa Muni, even though he tried to harm him, he was unbothered.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Ambarish Maharaj used his hands, and that comes in the 8th canto, I guess, where he, yeah, like you said, hearing, cleaning the temple, walking to the temple, smelling like he also uses his senses, the working senses and the knowledge acquiring senses, that also, right? It's a different category of seeing the things in a different way.
Mataji, I have a question. So, at the beginning of the verse, you said that uh, even Krishna doesn't know about himself. And in the qualities, we learn that he has all knowledge, right? So, can you elaborate more on that when you say that he doesn't know?
He's ever expanding. He's expanding. Like he wants to you can't contain Krishna. It's unlimited, right? Like Lord Ananta is holding the universe and he has unlimited hoods on his head and he's reciting the glories of Krishna, and those are never ending because he can't come to an end of that. That means Krishna's glories are never ending. If you put an end to Krishna's glories, that means he has got some limitations. He is unlimited. So there can never be any end to Krishna's glories, right? Uh, so for those are the internal reasons. That's an internal thing that Krishna has. So he probably sometimes forgets about himself too. And that's why he gets into the mood of the pastimes. When he is in the pastimes, he doesn't know that things are happening like that. Otherwise, how will he enjoy it? He is enjoying the pastimes. Like he is entering into these friends are entering into the mouth of the demon Agasura and he is watching it. He knows there might be some trouble for them, yet he is not able to fully stop them. That means he is in the pastime. That means he chooses not to know about it also. That is his Antaranga Shakti that covers. That is his internal potency. That is his Haladini potency that covers him. Haladini Shakti, internal potency. That enhances his rasa. This is only to enhance his rasa, not to test him. It is not that he is being tested. How come he doesn't know this part, even though he's all knowledgeable? This is everything in the universe, in the entire three worlds, is only to enhance Krishna's enjoyment, giving pleasure to Krishna. If something is not matching to that criteria, that's in the material world. Everything else in the spiritual world and everything is supposed to be for the pleasure of Krishna. So if that is there and Krishna gets into the mood, and that's his inconceivable potency. And that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us. It's Achintya. Achintya is inconceivable. How could it be? When he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he doesn't know something about himself. That's inconceivable. And that's our philosophy. So some things are not understood. It is kept like that, and it is best kept like that for us also, so that we hanker for it. We keep hankering for it, so that otherwise we think that we know everything, isn't it? So Krishna is like this, unlimited. Unlimited means there is no end. There is no end
Right,
means that means it's ever increasing. That's how
right,
we can understand.
right. And another question from your answer, Mataji. Um, and I think I've asked this in past, but I've forgotten the answer. Why does Krishna want to enjoy all of this? Do you know that? It can be a stupid question.
He is a proprietor, right? You all have said Yagta, Voktaram Yagna Tapasham Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Sahadam Sarvabhutanam Nyatmamam Shantim Rachati. So he is a proprietor of all the material manifestation, of all the spiritual manifestations. So if you are an owner of something, won't you enjoy it?
Right.
If you are owner of an company, you're a proprietor of the company. Don't you want to enjoy the benefit of it?
But aren't we learning that we should not be enjoying all of this? Then
That is
why
we.
Krishna
We
want?
are the energy. He is energetic. Energetic can enjoy. I mean, who am I to say can enjoy? He is the enjoyer. He's the
Mm,
enjoyer. He enjoys. And everything else in the universe is there to give him that enjoyment. We are energy. We cannot be the enjoyers. We are Prakriti. We cannot be Purushas. However, we have Purusha mentality. That's why we are here. We are enjoyer mentality. That's why we are here. But Krishna is the Purusha. Parama Purusha means he is the supreme enjoyer. So he will enjoy.
but he's also an Atma Ram Mataji, right? So he
He's
doesn't need anybody.
self-satisfied. So these
Yeah.
are all inconceivable. He's self-satisfied completely all the time. Yet he will enjoy. How is that inconceivable?
Right. Thank you, Mataji. Nice.
Okay, we'll move to the next question, which is Jnanam Teham Savik. Anybody wants to read? Is that how you guys read? Someone reads?
Mataji,
Yes.
we're still on chapter 7 breakdown screen. Is that?
Am I?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I thought I'm sharing my screen of Bhagavad Gita. Oh, okay. Is that fine now?
Yes,
Anybody,
Mataji.
anybody reads or should I read?
I can read, Mataji.
Yes.
ज्ञानं तेऽहं सविज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यज्ञज्ञात्वा नेह भूयो अन्यज्जातं जातव्यमविशस्यते.
Is it
I
as
shall, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
Yeah. So now he's going to explain after, he's telling Arjuna that he will explain this knowledge. If you hear this knowledge, both numinous and phenomenal, there will be nothing for you to know. We just know that there will be still more to know about Krishna. And what is this numinous, phenomenal and numinous? Phenomenal is that the knowledge about Krishna, any knowledge that his greatness, his strength, like Krishna killed so many asuras. Krishna did this pastime, that pastime, like in Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwaraka. Those are all Krishna's greatness, his energies. So these are all the phenomenal knowledge. That's something that gives you some knowledge about Krishna's greatness. Now, numinous knowledge is that knowledge that has been realized by us. That is the Vijnana. Jnanam, in the verse it says, Jnanam, which is the numinous knowledge, and Vijnanam, sorry, phenomenal knowledge and the numinal. Vijnanam is the realized knowledge. What is the realized knowledge? Realized knowledge is that sweetness, Krishna's internal mood. How is that we just understood? We asked this, Palak Mataji asked, how is that Krishna is able to not have full knowledge about things and yet he is the full knower of everything? That is something that we will realize for ourselves within our heart by executing the process, by hearing it nicely. We develop that knowledge, first of all. And through the application of this knowledge, we get the realized knowledge, which is the Vijnanam. And the Vijnanam comprises of the internal meanings of various things, why things happen in certain way. What is this internal essence or the meaning of things? And what is the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes? This is a sweetness. The sweetness is something that each one has to experience for ourselves. Knowledge can be provided. Vijnanam has to be realized. It has to be experienced. It's experiential that you guys have, what you have shared with me is your realizations earlier. It is what you have gone through for the six chapters is a knowledge. And what has stayed with you is the realization. Because you have applied that. If you apply it, you will get the realization out of it. So realization is the Vijnana. So Krishna is saying by hearing process, not only develop knowledge, you'll also develop the Vijnana. And again, he's saying by knowing that nothing will remain for you to know. Is that right? Again, we went through that it is not the fact. To the point that we understood things, to that point that we've experienced, that to the point that we have inculcated within our heart, to that point we'll understand Krishna's internal reasons, Jnanam and Vijnanam. Okay? So we can read this purport, short one. So one of you please read. Yeah, Debbie, please.
Thank you.
Unmute and read. You don't have to if one of you can do that, yeah.
Thank you. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This transcendental knowledge, the Lord wants to explain the above-mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of the 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas, Mukunda Upanishad 1.1.3 says, Kashmin yu bhagavo vijante sarva idam vijantam bhavat titi.
Yeah. So once we know things, again, the Upanishads say that once we know everything, there's won't be much remaining to know. But how much can we know is again based on our application of this process. And we can know only if we are in the disciplic succession, in the mode of a devotee. Krishna revealed this knowledge to Arjuna because he is his confidential devotee and friend. So if we are in that mood, then we can understand Krishna to the extent that we have understood and applied. Okay. So that means then this knowledge is available everywhere. Why is that it is Krishna is telling this process? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschanimam vekti tatvataha. Many people have understood this knowledge, have endeavored for this knowledge. Out of this, only few have come to this point of knowing me truthfully. That means it is rare. Bhakti is, it's simple process, isn't it? Like you don't need a pre-qualification. Gajendra was an elephant. Hanuman is a monkey. Kubja is, who she was. Then Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, these are young boys. They don't have qualifications, just become for a dhyana yogi. Can a child do dhyana yoga? No, he needs to sit in certain way. He needs to do some purification process, some mudra, some asanas, some place. Everything there's a qualification required for jnana, as well as for the dhyana, ashtanga. But for bhakti, there is no qualification, right? Even a child can do. Parikshit Maharaj was in the womb when he did devotional service, when he saw Krishna for the first time. Gajendra is elephant, like that. So, and the Vanaras are monkeys, all the Brahma Bhaktas. So there's no qualification needed. However, why is that it's very rare? It is available for everyone, but why is that it is very rare? That is because the application of it is not that easy. It is easy in one sense, like it is vast wide, it is vastly available to everyone. But if you want to go in depth, it becomes narrower and narrower. That is because the process becomes, it's reciprocal, right? How much you apply, that much you get in return. So it becomes reciprocatory. That's why it becomes harder, and that's why it becomes rare. Whereas it is available at a broad level, it is available for everyone. But it becomes rare. That is because the application of it becomes lesser and lesser over the period. So that's why it is said, out of thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. Not many people endeavor for perfection. But out of those who have achieved in perfection, very few, hardly one knows me in truth. Right? Maybe we can read the purport.
There are various grades of men, and out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know what is the self, what is the body, and what is the absolute truth. Generally, mankind is simply engaged in the animal propensities, namely eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, and hardly anyone is interested in transcendental knowledge. The first 6 chapters of the Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge, in understanding the self, the super self, and the process of realization by Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and discrimination of the self from matter. However, Krishna can be known only by persons who are in Krishna consciousness. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Person, but at the same time he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna. Although the greatest of the impersonalists, Sripad Shankaracharya, has admitted in his Gita commentary that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his followers do not accept Krishna as such, for it is very difficult to know Krishna, even though one has transcendental realization of impersonal Brahman. Should I continue? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the primeval Lord Govinda. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. It is very difficult for the non-devotees to know him. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy, they cannot practice it. If the path of bhakti is so easy as the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The so-called path of bhakti practiced by unauthorized persons without knowledge of bhakti may be easy. But when it is practiced factually according to the rules and regulations, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall away from the path. Srila Rupa Goswami writes in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.101, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhim Vina Ekantiki Harer Bhaktir Upatay Yev Kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narad Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. It is not possible for the Brahman realized impersonalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muhyanti yat sura yah. Mam tu ved na kaschana. No one knows me as I am, the Lord says. And if one does know him, then Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. Therefore, unless
Stop
sorry,
it. So that means there is rarity in bhakti. It is available for everyone. It is simple process. The process is simple. We have 9 processes of devotion service that we can do, but it is not easy. As we go further and further, it is not easy. That is because the application of it is hard, in the sense like how much can you apply, right? If you just chant Hare Krishna and be happy is the starting point, right? But there will be realizations, then there will be application, and then going much more deeper and deeper into the bhakti process is actually it's layers and layers. That's why it becomes rare and rare. Bhakti becomes rare and rare. Many people will drop out in the process, right? But let us not be that lot which drops out. Let us be that lot that can go deeper and deeper, like at least between the who are endeavoring for perfection. Krishna only saying hardly one knows main truth. So I don't know how much we all can be hopeful of that, but at least we can be in this part, can endeavor for perfection part, right? Yes.
Mataji, in the purport, it's written, devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads is Puranas and Narad Panchatantra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. And just now we discussed that bhakti does not require any qualifications. Both, at least at a superficial level, seem to be contradicting. Can you explain more?
See, for everything there is, if you go to army, you need to dress up in certain way. You need to follow some code of conduct, right? Or any process, there is a code of conduct. For bhakti process also, there is a code of conduct. And that processes are laid out by Narad Muni in his Narada Pancharatra. So we need to start off there. Now our devotional processes are based on the Narada Pancharatra Vidhis. So if you ignore them, it is like a speculation. Like, that's what this particular verse is saying. Devotional service that ignores authorized Vedic literature is Upanishads, Puranas, and is simply unnecessary disturbance. So it becomes speculative. So in a speculation, there is no room for devotion. You're speculating whether this or that. That's why the pure devotional service, first of all, rejects all these speculative processes. That's not called as a devotional service. What to speak of pure devotional service? So pure devotional service so that point is clear. Now, what was the other point that you said? What is a contradictory to this?
That at the first, we discussed that bhakti does not require qualifications. But when we say that all of this is important, then we are kind of adding a qualification to it. So that is contradicting.
Bhakti is not because it can be done by any category of people, and they can become pure devotees also in that level. In their category, they can become pure devotees. Hanuman is a monkey, is one of the Mahajans, is a pure devotee, right? So by doing the process of bhakti, all these are revealed to them. They don't need to go through this process of step-by-step process. They become revealed to them, and to the extent that they have opened themselves, then they will, that much is revealed to them. So this going through this process of learning these scriptures in this way is not required. Right? Like Gajendra. Gajendra remembered his past life and offered prayers in the body of a elephant. In the previous life, he was a king Indradumna, and he performed devotional service, and which he remembered in his next life. How did he remember? Did he go through Narada Pancharatra in this life as a body of Gajendra? No. It was revealed to him in the right moment because he remembered the Lord. He did the devotional service. He had that qualification. He carried that in his heart, impressions. And in this life, after going through so much, 1000 years, and then he realized that, yes, there's no point in doing this. Let me surrender. That surrender, how much of surrender he had is that attracted Lord to come down. So it's very qualitative, it's very subjective. It's very subjective to Gajendra, right? So in that sense, there is no qualification. But for us who are learning in that process, we become qualified by this process of learning with the scriptures, with our, for all of us, for the rest of us, I'm speaking, not just, like Gajendra is a elevated soul from his previous life. But for the rest, we are products of Kali Yuga. So for us, we have to go through, we need some code. Otherwise, where will we land? We need some guidelines.
So can we say that this particular line applies to the Kali Yuga because we need a code? But if, let's just say, from the time I'm born, if I'm always in the surrender mode, if I'm always just like Meera, right? I don't know her complete story, but whatever I know, that she was always devoted. I'm not sure if she read the Vedas or anything, but she surrendered completely, right? So is that the difference?
Right. Yeah. That
Okay.
bhakti process, like for us, everything is we have read the modes, how the mode come and disturb people. Like, we'll also see in this chapter how the modes are implicating, influencing, bringing down the living entities. So for us, we need some scripture. Although there is no we all can read it. It's not like only Brahmanas can read. Nobody is telling that. In that sense, there's no qualification. The examples of these other scriptures of other people like Gajendra, Hanuman is to say that bhakti is not limited to just human beings. Just to bring that point out, it's not limited to one category. Whereas Ashtanga Yoga is limited to Brahmanas who have succeeded doing some yoga process for a long time. Only then they
Right.
change. But bhakti is
Got
not
it.
limited to that such categories. Is what
Got it.
bring that
Thank
point.
you, Mataji.
So this is the first three sections where Krishna speaks about the hearing process, and he also speaks about how one can realize the knowledge by hearing it nicely from the devotees coming in the disciplic succession, and also by applying the process. And also he's telling on that point that it is very rare. Right? That's the first section. The next section, 7 to what was the breakdown? 4 to 12. So we'll be breaking only at 7th verse today. Hopefully we'll go there quicker. So 4 verses we have to cover. So this talks about Krishna's energies. His energies, both spiritual and material energies. I think there is connectivity between these verses. This verse followed by the next verse to the next verse, there's connectivity. So we can kind of group them together. One of you please read the verse. Okay, I will read. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kammano buddhirev cha ahankara iti yamme binna prakritirashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these constitute my separated material energies. So the material energies that we see around, Bhumir, Apu, Nalo, Vayu, Earth, water, fire, air, ether, these are the gross material elements. And the subtle material elements like mind, intelligence, and false ego, these are the Krishna's separated material energies. Okay, now there are the universe, this purport talks about the universal creation, how the elements are created from the 3 Vishnus that we are, I hope you are aware of those. Karanodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Shirodakshay Vishnu. Karanodakshay Vishnu is the from which the Pradhana, the initial seed comes out, and by his glance that Pradhana becomes transformed into Mahatattva, and from that Mahatattva false ego comes over a period of time. It culminates into 3 different categories: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And all these combinations by these material elements that we have, gross ones that we just spoke about, or the material ones, earth, water, fire, and ether, the 24 elements become generated. So that is Bhakti Vaibhav study category. For us, we can know the material elements are the earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind, intelligence, and false ego are the subtle elements. And these are where the entire material universe is created by the amalgamation or the combinations of these material and the subtle elements, the gross and the subtle elements. The entire universe elements are created, which includes the working senses, the knowledge acquiring senses, the sense objects. All these are the 25 elements that are created out of it. If you read the purport, you'll get that. So Karanodakshayi Vishnu is the main cause for the creation of this universe with these elements created in the beginning. And Garbhodakshayi Vishnu is the one who enters into each and every universe and maintains that universe. And Shirodakshayi Vishnu enters each and every atom within the universe. And that's how he maintains the universe. So these are the elements that are created. So the entire universe is created by these material elements. Okay, maybe we can read the last part. One of you please read the last part.
I can read, Mataji.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the material energy, the principal manifestations are 8, as above mentioned. Out of these, the first 5 manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are called 5 gigantic creations, or the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more. but the other three items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the materialists. Philosophers who deal with mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they also do not know the ultimate source, Krishna. The false ego, I am, it is mine, which constitutes the basic principle of material existence, includes 10 sense organs for material activities. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the Mahat Tattva. Therefore, from the 8 separated energies of the Lord are manifest the 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya atheistic philosophy. They are originally offshoots from Krishna's energies and are separated from him. But atheistic Sankhya philosophers with a poor fund of knowledge do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation of external energy of Krishna as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, so these material elements amalgamate and combine with each other in different combinations and produce those elements. And that's the creation, that's the basis for this gross manifestation or the material energy creation. And that's the Sankhya knowledge. Okay. So, and next verse is a memorization verse that you have, which is Apareyam itaswanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam daryate jagat. Why do you think this is a memorization verse, not the earlier verse? Because that's more catchy. Gumirapo nalo vayu kammano buddhi devacha. What do you think this is become a memorization verse? Any guesses?
Is it because when I read, sorry, go ahead, Yashita.
No. So maybe because it talks about us, the living entities, like the superior nature, and the previous one is the inferior.
Yeah. But the earlier one was catchy. If we ask children to memorize, we would first ask that verse rather than this verse. But this verse is important. That is because it talks about us, the living entities, who Krishna categorizes as superior energy of him. Oh, besides these, O mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Because there's a sad part of this great verse, we being the the superior energy of Krishna, apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidime param, we are enjoying the inferior material nature and exploiting it. And that's the cause for our entanglement that comes up. So these are the this is the living entity. Living entity Krishna categorizes as a superior energy because living entity has got, the living entities have got a potency to be either within the Krishna's internal Shakti or within the Krishna's external Shakti, which is internal potency or external potency. That's why the living entities are called as marginal, tatastha, marginal energies. Because depending on how much of a person is entangled in the modes, that person is to that extent is in the external energy of the Lord. And if we purify ourselves, we come into the internal energy of the Lord. And that is the reason we come under the superior category. Okay? We are the superior category of energies. We are not matter. We matter. Our lives matter, right? So, we are the superior energy. But because we come under the influence of this material influence, modes of nature, false ego, and all that, we could be either in the internal potency or in the external potency. So there is always a chance that we can become. But Krishna categorizes us as the superior. So we should be very glad about that fact that Krishna considers us as part of him. And he also says that in one of the verse upcoming in the other chapters, like the living entities are my part and parcels. If we are not as the same Shakti, we are qualitatively same as Krishna. Quantity wise, we are very minute, like just a drop of water within the sea. A drop of sea water is as salty as the entire sea water, but the quantity is just a drop compared to billions and billions and billions of gallons of water. right? Similarly, the living entities are minutely Satchidananda. Minutely, very minutely. We are also Satchidananda. But because we are covered by the modes, we don't experience that. And we need, there is a purification process, and that process is bhakti process, through which we can experience Krishna's potency and become Satchidananda as like Krishna. Yes, Roshini.
Mataji, my question is about the previous purport, where it says, therefore, the eight separated energies of the Lord are manifest the 24 elements of the material world. What are these 24 elements, Mataji?
Like I said, right? Like the first are the earth, water, fire, ether, and intelligence, mind, false ego. They amalgamate with each other. The false ego in the mode of goodness. So then there five knowledge acquiring senses. What are the five knowledge acquiring senses? Eye,
Ear,
ears, nose,
nose,
taste, and the touch. And the five working senses? Legs, hands,
legs, hands,
Anus,
genitals.
genitals,
mouth, speaks.
So there are five knowledge acquiring senses. Maybe you can do this as part of your homework. What are the five knowledge acquiring senses? What are the five working senses? And there is a sense of touch. Each one produce one. There are sense objects also. And since these are all combined together, they form the universe. Universe in the beginning is just a pradhana. It's a small seed. By the glance of Mahavishnu, the seed transforms into Mahatattva. Mahatattva has this false ego component in it. Over a period of time, this false ego, by the transformation of those egos in the goodness, passion, ignorance, transform further into further elements. And those are these 24 elements, which includes the five knowledge acquiring senses, five working senses, the sense objects. These are 10, right? And then 18. Then we have sense of touch. The sense objects are created, the sound, then smell, taste. These are sense objects. So these are created. So all these come together, and those are the elements. From these elements only the entire universe is created. So from those 24 elements, the entire unit, sometimes 24, sometimes 25, depends on the context. Mind is also included in it sometimes. Mind is also considered as an element. Okay, so from these, the various entire manifestation of the universe takes place. This is not for the Bhakti Shastri study. You can just read it and try to understand it. But this will be a part of the Bhakti Vaibhav studies. There will be questions in the Bhakti Vaibhav, not in Bhakti Shastri on the particular chapter, on the particular category. Okay. For us, we are at that five gross elements and three subtle elements at water. If you know that for now, and you continue to read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, when you get to that, you can that will be expanded in the second and third cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Palak Mataji.
Mataji, what do we mean by ether? What is ether?
Ether is the sky.
Okay.
The ether generates sound. How is sound transformed? Through the sky. Is a sense object for the sense element. The sense element is a sound. Sense object is the sky. Let me give you a breakdown of this chart that will be a homework for me for next class. I'll bring that information for you.
Mataji,
Yes.
actually, our handbook has this information on page 46.
Okay, you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. It says sharing is not enabled.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, allow. Okay.
Here. So I'll just zoom it a little bit. So these are the senses.
Mm.
And here there is a breakdown of gross elements. And then there are subtle elements over here.
Yeah. Okay. So 8 separated energies and 24 material elements. So the gross elements are like what the verse says. And they produce, earth produce sound, water produce touch, fire, form, taste, air, smell, ether. Sorry, earth produces fragrance. The earth produces the topmost smell. The fragrance is produced from earth. Water gives the taste of water, Krishna says in the next few verses. So the element, gross element water produces sense object called what? Taste. Fire is the element, one of the elements which produces the sense object form. Air is the element, it produces touch. Ether is the element that produces a sound. So these are the objects, these are the elements. And then the subtle elements, false ego, all this, the false ego creates the knowledge acquiring senses, eyes, ears, nose, skin, touch, and the working senses, karmendriyas, hands, legs, all that. So the 5 plus 5 becomes 10, plus 8, 18, plus 18, and then this 5, 18 plus 5 is how much?
23.
23, and then mind and false ego, 24, 25 actually. I said, right? 25, sometimes 24, sometimes 25. So all these together form, and these are the different combinations that work towards each other and produce the material manifestation. All the material manifestations are created by these elements. And then there are devatas. The devatas are the entities who are responsible for each and every element, each and every object, and each and every senses. Elements, objects, senses, there are devatas who are guarding these, or who are securing, or who are attesting these, or who are guarding that. Okay, so we can, like I said, this can be a little overwhelming to know at this point, but this definitely Bhakti Vaibhav study. This is just an introduction here. That's why they summarized it nicely for us. Okay, you can understand that entire universe is created out of these elements only. Okay. So moving to the next verse, 6th verse, 8th. Let me share again. एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणि तुपधारया अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा. All created beings have their source in these two natures, all of them, that is material and all that is spiritual in this world. Know for certain that I am both origin and the dissolution. So Krishna is the creator and the destroyer of these two types of elements that we saw. The material elements comprising of those gross and subtle elements, and the spiritual element, which is the living entities. Krishna is the creator and maintainer, as well as the cause for dissolution. He is the cause of dissolution of these elements. However, he is not within these elements. He is beyond these elements. He will tell again. So, the same thing expanded in the purport. One of you please read this purport. It's small.
I'll read it, Mataji.
Yeah.
Everything that exists is a product of matter and spirit. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. This material body is developed because spirit is present within matter. A child grows gradually to boyhood and then to manhood because that superior energy, spirit soul, is present. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation of the gigantic universe is developed because of the presence of Super Soul Vishnu. Therefore, spirit and matter, which combine to manifest this gigantic universal form, are originally two energies of the Lord, and consequently, the Lord is the original cause of everything. A fragmental part and parcel of the Lord, namely the living entity, may be the cause of a big skyscraper, a big factory, or even a big city, but he cannot be the cause of big universe. The cause of the big universe is the big soul or the super soul, and Krishna, the supreme, is the cause of both the big and small souls. Therefore, he is the original cause of all causes. This is confirmed in the Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. Nityo Nityanam Chetananam.
So it's just like a big factory owner is a creator of the factory, and you can present you can feel his presence everywhere in the nook and corner of the factory or the company, because he has laid out the policies, he has laid out the procedures. You can feel his presence in the form of those. So that's why he is the proprietor, and he is there in every, but he is not physically present there. He's not physically present, but then you can feel his presence. He is a creator. In that way, you can see. So similarly, Krishna is a creator of both this material and the spiritual parts of this universe. Spirit is the living entity, matter is all the other non-living entities. So he is the cause of creation as well as he is the cause of a dissolution also. So just this is the knowledge part. Yes,
Mataji, I am confused about two sentences. Not confused, I need more clarity. So in text 6, we read the second line in the purport, which says, Spirit is not created at the certain stage of material development, right? Rather, the material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. And then in the previous purport, I think in the first paragraph only, it says the cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. I feel there is some relation in these two lines, but I'm not able to connect and what it means.
cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy. Yeah, this is superior energy is the living entity. Otherwise, see, when Brahma created, okay, let me just say that because this is when Brahma created the universe, initially the 24 elements amalgamated Karanadaksha Vishnu to Garbhodaksha Vishnu. There are material elements created, and he's struggling to fill the population in the universe. He's going to people, please fill up the population. Please fill the universe with the population. It's an empty shell, right? This cosmic has no power unless there is living entities are populated in the universe. That's what it is. And this is created and controlled by the energetic, the Supreme Lord. So Brahma, Krishna has authorized Brahma to create, and Brahma has authorized his sons to create or populate the universe. So this is the population. Otherwise, it's just the material elements, right? This part is clear? What I just said, based on that, this part is clear?
Mataji, but that essentially means that Brahma is asking the soul to forget itself just to populate the world.
Well, that is what Brahma has asked for. So we are all part of that same plan that he has asked for. Brahma wanted to create, and we are all part of his plan. So that's why we are here in the material world. Yes, that is right. Your understanding is right. We are chosen to be here. It's not like we wanted to be here. That's why we are here. Brahma wanted to create the universe. Even though he could have asked for not to create universe, could have asked for going back to Godhead, but he wanted to do a service, right? It is a service mode that he wanted to create the universe, and we are part of his plan.
So, Mataji, we've also learned that we are here because of our forgetfulness of our actual position and because we developed ego and we wanted to enjoy the material world. What
Correct.
about that?
Correct, that's right. Because we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. So at the end of the creation of the Brahma's lifetime, you'll see Brahma's lifetime in the next chapter also. What is his lifetime? You would have heard about it in the last chapters. One day of Brahma and all that, lifetime of Brahma. At the end of the dissolution of Brahma's life, which is 312 trillion years, humanly years, there will be dissolution. Brahma, either he can go back to Godhead or he can take a rebirth. And all the entire cosmic manifestation, the entire universe that we are part of, becomes submerged into Lord Vishnu's body. And that is just one breath of Vishnu. Just in one breath, all these things happen. And then he'll exhale, then everything will come out, which becomes some trillions of years. So
Right.
depending on the consciousness, the desires, and the impressions that we have accumulated within our minds, in this world, in this universe, the living entity can go back to Godhead in the current time. Like in 312 trillion years, we all can go back to Godhead. But however, if we stay back, depending on where we are at that end of Brahma's life, we will all go back into Lord Vishnu's body with those impressions. And because, see, this is not going back to Godhead, it is going back into Lord Vishnu's body. That means we will exist in that form, in sleeping, susupti. Susupti is what it is called. We'll sleep. And then at his exhalation, we'll come back. And Brahma has work to do, he will create, and then we will all take shape and some form. So, because we have not purified our desires, we still have the desire for lording it over material nature. So, we come into this world. That's true.
So
Although
Mataji,
the
I'm
right understanding,
confused.
yes. What is the confusion?
Sorry to cut you off, but I'm confused that I think right now you said that you're here because Brahma wanted to populate this world and we got a purpose to in this universe. But then that means that we did not forget, we were called upon. But then I think
You have a choice
also
right now. Right now, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you right now also, but you have a choice right now to go back to Godhead within the Brahma's plan. Brahma's plan has 312 years, 12 trillion years. We have a chance to go back to Godhead. We can purify and go back to Godhead. However, we stay back, we all become part of Brahma's plan.
by choice.
By choice. Yeah, we are all part of Brahma's plan in that way. Living entities are never created. They are all eternally existent. This is a way above topic that are the living entities created? They are eternally present. How are they present? The time immemorial that we are talking about, 312. Let's start at that point, 312 trillion years, which is inconceivable for us. That is Brahma's lifetime. And time exists beyond that. Brahma is just one small portion of the entire gigantic universal creation of Lord Krishna. Brahma is just one of the Brahmas. There are so many Brahmas. We are one Brahma, which is Chaturmukhi Brahma's plan. We are in his universe. So we are in that plan. So in this situation, we can go back to Godhead or we can continue to be here. And if we are staying back at the end of those 312 trillion years, we'll go back to Lord Vishnu's body and come back again with the same conceptions, with the same mindset, with the same impressions. We'll come back. So in that sense, our free choice is never lost with us. We always have our free choice throughout. We have our choice.
Got it. So Mataji, can we say, was there a possibility that nobody agreed to Brahma to come to this universe and it would have just been this hollow place
It
and that's
happened, right?
it?
It happened. Like his sons, he asked for Kumaras to populate. They said, no, we are not doing. We can't do this job. We are going ahead. We will be like these 4 boys only. We will not populate the universe. We will just do devotional service. This happened. This is not new. It happened. 4 Kumaras rejected Brahma's plan. He said, we will not partake in your plan. Although he created them. And then Brahma gets upset. And then the story follows. So that happens. So we can say, but we don't have a choice at that point. We have a choice now. We don't have a choice at that point. Because we are all in this plan. We don't have a choice other than that. Either we are with Krishna, we are Krishna, we are Krishnas. In this form, in this universe, or in the spiritual world. Krishna will take care of us, either here or there. We cannot be in nowhere place, either here or there. I hope that got clear to you. We don't have a choice in that sense. You can make a choice to go back to Godhead, but either you'll be here or in the spiritual world. These are the only 2 places that we can be in.
Yes. I think this is clear. The only thing that the last statement that you made, that we did not have a choice then, but we have a choice now. So why do you say that?
To devotional service, we have a choice now. Right now, we have a choice. Within Brahma's lifetime, we have a choice to perfect our life. If we not made our choices clarified till the last day of Brahma's life, that time we don't have any choices left. We have to be within the body of Mahavishnu and come back and take the form again.
We did have this choice back then as well when we agreed to become a part of Brahma's plan. We did have a choice back then as well.
Ah, okay. So that is what I'm trying to clear. At that time, we will not have a choice.
Oh, you're talking about when Brahma's lifetime ends, that time we won't.
No. Because
Okay.
they are all there. Like we need to be given a form. We are all in the sleeping susupti stage that I said. We have to take shape. We have to take some form. We have to come back. Right now, we have a choice to go back to Godhead.
Got it. And when we were in the process of creation, like before this, did we have a choice then?
When?
Did we have a choice then, like before this? Like
We
when
always had
everything
a
was being
choice.
created?
We
Yes.
always
Got
had
it.
a choice
Yeah.
to go back to Godhead.
Got it. Thank you so much, Mataji, for such detailed explanation. Thank you.
I hope it was clarified. Prabhu, Srinivas Prabhu, you had a question? I saw your hand. You're on.
Actually, during the discussion, I was a little bit confused. I just want to understand like some. So maybe it's. I think it's took a long time. I don't want to extend, but this time probably I will actually ask one to one. Like Brahma creation, like Brahma is calling Brahma's plan. That was I'm a little bit. I just want to understand that part. If like where souls were coming here was a part of Brahma plan. So I was a little bit unclear about it. So I don't know whether I didn't understand properly the discussion is going on. Because so far I heard two versions how a living entity will end up in the material world. One is when the living entity has been created, like the soul is man created, like it has a choice. It can be with the Krishna and serving him, or it's got attracted towards the lower tendencies, like to the material world. That is how we end up here. And there are eternally liberated souls which are always with Krishna. So for us, like for all the living entities who want to be away from Krishna, so for them, this material world has been created. Now we are here, and Krishna comes or the acharyas comes once in a while to tell, like to call back there. Okay, enough kind of situation. So questions I heard, like so when I heard like Brahma's plan, why like kind of we have to come here. So there I was a little bit not clear. So I thought I just want to check on that. Otherwise, these are the two. So far, this is the two versions I have been hearing from acharyas or senior devotees. How a living entity end up. One is we decide to here. We want to decide. We'll come here and we are here. And after many years, we understand. Oh, this is we have been taking a lot of births, Brahmamuttu Jara Vyadhi, in the circle. We have been suffering, and every time, and we accumulate so much karma. Then, so this process going on and on. So now we have an opportunity where we met the devotees, we understood the process, we realized, realized no, we did. It's not fun being in this world. Better going back and be with Krishna. So this process helps us, as mentioned, you mentioned, bhakti, like it doesn't need any qualification, but yes, we have to follow process. Qualification is not required, but process is required for result, getting the results. Like again, this was asked by Mataji.
Yeah.
So there I was not unclear, Mataji. I don't know like whether I was able to tell properly where I was confused.
I am not actually getting where you were confused. Okay, let me just one more time within 1 or 2 minutes, let me say. So we have made a choice to enjoy separately from Krishna.
Yes.
We all know all that. So we came to this material world. In this material world, like Prabhu, you are telling, we have acharyas, scriptures, and everything to make our life, to understand the process of devotional service and go back to Godhead. So we can make, in that way, we have a choice to go back to Godhead in this life. Supposing we go back to Godhead, that means our soul is with Krishna. We are doing eternal service to Krishna in the spiritual world. That's it. Our soul is there. Our soul is not here anymore. Now, one soul doesn't utilize their choices and continue to misuse their choices. So they will stay back, but because we are part of Brahma's creation, this universe, Brahma will die, or sorry, his end of life, I don't want to call it as die, his end of life, he'll take back and either he will go and his entire creation also has to be dissoluted, has to be dissolved. So the living entities who have stayed back, who have not made the choice, where will they go? They go back to Lord Vishnu's body. Next time he exhales, another Brahma comes into picture, and Brahma has the service to recreate, because living entities are waiting to fulfill their desires in the body of Mahavishnu. So Brahma has a service, he created the universe, and these living entities become populated in the universe based on their choices and impressions. And we come back, and the living entities come back into the another universe. Is that clear? This is all I said.
It's clear. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so we don't have time to cover the 7th verse, the next verse, which is the important verse, which is the analogy verse, which is, yeah. So tomorrow we'll cover up until 14th verses, covering everything. But for tomorrow, I have some homework for you. I'll post it because the verses that are coming up are about the different energies, because Krishna speaks about his energies in this particular section. So I want you to come up with the energies. There are 4 verses that talk about 8 to 14, I think, that verses that talk about Krishna's energies. I want you to present it to the group. Yeah, 7th is over. 8 to 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. So how many people are there? So tomorrow only we want to do, all of you learn everything, and tomorrow I'll divide into groups in the class. You can make the presentation. Like different potencies of Krishna. The homework will be on the same categories. And tomorrow in the group, in the class also, we'll do the same thing. Different potencies of Krishna. And each of you can explain. Or the groups will divide into 4 groups, maybe four sets of verses, 4 verses. You can, so that way we'll cover the 4 verses quickly. That said, we will in the beginning recite the verses. Then we'll start on time, end on time tomorrow. Yeah, that's it. I will share on the group after the session.
It's from 7 to 11 months.
7 to 14. 7 to 14 is what we will read next tomorrow, or go through the entire in the class. Homework will be some portion of that, which you will present in tomorrow's class. 4 of you, or 4 groups of you. I hope I'm making myself clear. Some people didn't speak today, so I want you to speak up tomorrow in the beginning. Yes, Debbie and Yeshita Mataji.
Can I ask you, Mataji, about the course schedule? Would we also get any review classes? Because that's what we had the last time. It was helpful. We got 2 review classes before our closed book assessment. Is that something that we can also get for Unit 2?
It's there in the schedule. The revision is on 30th March.
Okay, my apologies. Then I didn't read it properly. Thank you.
No problem. I'll post this slide on the chat so that you have it. Revision is on 30th.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other last minute? Nishita, Mataji?
Yes, so just on the course structure only, this homework. So for homework, like you'll be giving these class homeworks only, or are we expected to read any learning objective or any things from the handbook before? Like there are some learning objective questions, and for the open book assessment also, I wanted to ask, like I think for the timeline, you said that you'll give the questions just 1 week before the due date of the open book. So is that right? Or
Or how many open book questions you get usually? 1?
2 essays?
2 essays? So as we cover the chapters, I'll try to formulate an open book question for the chapters that we covered. But by 15th, we should have all the open book questions identified, whatever we have to write in this unit, in this module. That's what it means. By 14, 15, we would have given the chapters on which the open book questions will be formulated. It means that.
Okay, so I mean, it can be before as well, like as during the
Can
classes,
be,
you.
yes. It can, everything can be from chapter 7, for example, which you will finish
Mhm.
in next 2 classes, for example, like that. So
Okay, so it will be on like your own questions and not any handbook or anything, right?
how was it last time? Was it from the handbook?
It was from the handbook, Mataji.
Okay, we can pick from the handbook to make it easier for everyone. Okay, will be from
Okay.
nothing from beyond handbook. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to ask the format because last time we were like given any 2 out of the 10, but how is it going to be this time?
Same. We will have 2 out of, if we have the questions already formulated, it's there, right? For you, then it is there. You choose then whatever you want to. If the questions are already in the handbook, out of 10, you can choose 2. That you can
Okay.
start from writing now itself, if it is on 7th chapter, for example.
Okay, yeah,
Right?
that is what I wanted to confirm
Yeah.
about the timeline that you had mentioned in the like 15, 16 open book
Okay.
thing. So
Yeah, maybe that's
that
little
I didn't
confusing, right?
understand. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Yeah, I got that, your confusion. And another thing is, this time the answers will, the open book will be in the soft written, in the computerized format. Open book questions, your CBA, closed book exam, will be handwritten. I hope you will all agree to that. Opposite to what you did.
And Mataji, is the closed book exam for sure going to be on April 5th?
Yeah, because we have to stick to the timelines, right?
And the
Okay.
closed questions will be from the handbook, right?
Oh, closed book will be from the handbook. I don't want to concoct any other things. So you make it easier. You have the open book questions already with you. If you want, we can discuss them if needed. But you can choose to write them right away also.
That will be great, Mataji. That will give us a head start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
because
was it last time? Wasn't it Mataji came up with
Right. Everything was from the handbook, open book, closed book, everything.
Right. Everything will be from handbook. All I'm saying is I'm changing the format of the open book and closed book. Open book will be on the computer. Closed book will be handwritten. That's all the difference I'm making. Opposite to what you did.
yes, Mataji.
Can
Open
I?
book was computer last time also, so that is okay.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Both
Yes,
were on the paper.
it's computer.
Right. Okay, that is easy. So for me, writing will be on the CBA will be written, if that's okay.
And it will also be like a 2-hour exam thing, or
We'll get to that. We just started. We'll
okay.
get to that. Over the weeks, we'll discuss that.
Yeah.
May I?
Mataji, with spelling, because I am telling you I'm a horrible speller, and I know last time online they had the autocorrect. So I'm just warning you in advance that you'll see colorful spellings from my side.
That's okay, don't worry.
Can I also ask you a question, Mataji? April 5th is a Saturday, so April 6th, we have nothing, that means, and then April 12th is when Unit 3 starts.
Potentially, I don't know.
Is there a possibility for the exam to be moved the 6th, then April 6th, if we have
One day,
nothing?
what are we going to do in one day? We'll see.
Mataji, no.
No, last
I have
minute
to catch a flight on 6th.
preparations.
Yeah, we'll exceptions.
Mataji,
Yes.
so is this going to be in-person exam if you're saying it's written?
No. In your
Okay.
place. You just have to
Okay.
put your laptop, write on the paper, scan and send it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess Sunday exam will be better, as Devi Mataji suggested from the previous experience.
Oh, okay. We'll take it up with Halavini Kupika Mataji. Someone had a constraint, I heard someone had something.
Mataji, I have a flight on April 6th.
Yeah, see, the dates are given, so we have time. Right? Fifth is date has been set, so let's stick to that for now.
Okay,
Starting
Mataji.
itself, because one day, what are we going to do? We have 3 months now.
We can study more.
Okay. Yeah, thank you all very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo anantakoti vaishnavebhyo Jai Shri Prabhupada. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll meet tomorrow. We'll stick to the time tomorrow. Thank you. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mataji. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.